Arnold Schwarzenegger, bodybuilder, 37th governor of California. Donald Trump, New York real estate tycoon, 45th president of the United States. Ibn Khaldun, founder of the social sciences. B.R. Ambedkar, drafted the Indian constitution, fought the caste system. Elon Musk, founder of PayPal, Tesla, and SpaceX. Warren Buffett, net worth $137 billion, most successful investor of the 20th century. Malala Yousafzai fought educational and gender inequalities. And Sam Walton, founder of Walmart, the largest supermarket chain in the world. I want you to ask yourself, what did these people study? Well, they studied economics. So what is the study of economics? Economics is a social science that looks at how individuals, businesses, and governments allocate scarce resources in order to satisfy the wants and needs of society. It looks at production, distribution, and consumptions of goods and services. It's split into two main parts. Microeconomics, which looks at businesses at a smaller scale and individual scale, and macroeconomics, which looks at the economy at large. So, what are the skills that you gain from studying economics? Well, you gain quantitative skills. As an economist, you will work with mathematical models and statistical techniques. You will become proficient in calculus, statistics, and econometrics. These skills are invaluable to a career in economics or many other careers. You will also gain analytical skills. You will learn to identify patterns and to draw logical conclusions from the patterns you analyze. This will support you in your decision making and in your risk assessment. We make decisions on a daily basis and we take risks on a daily basis. So you could imagine how useful this skill would be. As an economist, you also look at real-world issues, which will support you with your problem-solving skills. You will look at real problems like employment, inflation, sustainability, market inequalities, and so much more. You will be trained on solving these issues and creating policies that solve these issues. You will also gain a global perspective when you study economics. You will look at multiple economies in multiple different countries, and you will look at how these economies are interconnected. You will look at the implications of globalization and how you can benefit from globalization. So, you will understand why certain products may sell in Mexico and why they might not sell in China. So, let's apply these skills to a business. Who here is interested in opening their own business? Show of hands. Owning their own business someday. Let's say you want to open a bakery here in Dubai. What are some of the economic concepts that you will need to apply? Well, you need to apply resource allocation. You are a startup, so you don't have much capital. How can you make the best use of your capital to buy your ingredients, to fund your labor, and to fund your machinery? You will learn how to fund these factors most effectively as an economist. You will also look at cost-benefit analysis. Everything comes with cost, everything comes with benefit. How could you reduce the costs and maximize the benefits? Let's say in your bakery, you want to introduce a new product, let's say cake. Or would you want to improve on your current product, let's say bread? Which one will cost you less and will give you more capital, more profit later on, long term? You will need to look at both factors. You will need to look at the current market and look at your customers. And you will need to draw a choice between these two, between improving your current product or introducing a new product. You will also look at price elasticity. How can you raise your price and keep your customers? Or how can you raise your price and you might lose some customers, but will the raised price make up for the customers you lost, thereby increasing your profit? You will also look at supply and demand. If the demand for bread is early in the morning, you're going to produce more bread in the morning. If the demand for bread is less in the afternoon, you will produce, as a result, less bread in the afternoon. So, with these microeconomic concepts, your bakery will thrive. Any venture you enter in will thrive. So, how does the knowledge of economics support our friends over here? Well, for Arnold Schwarzenegger, he entered many ventures over his career. He entered real estate, he entered fitness, and he entered entertainment. And this is something I want you to notice about the people over here. They didn't stick to one thing. As an economist, you don't stick to one thing. You are surfing the market. You are a surfer. When the market is high, when the tide is high, you ride the big waves. And when the waves crash, you're not there for the crash, you're on the next wave. You move on. An example would be Donald Trump. He's known for his multiple ventures, some successful, some not. But it worked out because he was able to apply economic concepts to jump from a failing business to a more successful one, and alternate. Another example would be Warren Buffett. He didn't make his fortune by investing in one business. He was an investor. He invested in multiple businesses over multiple markets. Another example would be Elon Musk. When online shopping began to take root in society, he founded PayPal. When sustainability became the new big thing, and people were becoming more conscious of their carbon footprint, he founded Tesla. When NASA was getting its budget cut, he founded SpaceX. The perfect timing, he was able to found his businesses during the perfect timing because of his knowledge of the market. Not just for your own business, you can use economics. Let's say you want to work in policy, you want to work in government. How will economics support you? Well, when you look at things like taxation and policy, physical policy, and monetary policy, that will support you with your politics or with your policy decisions. An example would be Arnold Schwarzenegger when he became governor of California, or B.R. Ambedkar when he worked in the Indian government drafting its constitution. He had to take into account the current economic state in India and how he can solve the problems when he drafts his constitution. And he was vocal against the caste system because he knew if he could beat it, he would lead to many people entering the workforce. Let's say you want to work in humanitarian work. Let's see how Malala benefited from economics. Malala had to look at the root causes of educational inequalities. On her own website, how does she justify the funding for her fund to solve educational inequalities? Well, she says, if girls completed education, all girls completed education, an additional $30 trillion would be added to the world economy. She has to justify her funding through economics, because economics is something objective. You're giving numbers, which supports your ideas and your decisions. So, I want you to think of economics not as just numbers, graphs, equations. You do not need to become an economist if you study economics. Economics can support you with any passion you have. I want you to look inwards into your passion. What are you passionate about? Are you passionate about dentistry? How can economics help you move forward? Let's say open your own dental clinic. You want to work in government. How can economics support you with your work in government? How can you address real-world issues that you will study in economics? How can you address inflation? How can you address unemployment? How will that support you with your policy decisions? You want to study psychology. How will a knowledge of economics support you with your psychology career? Do you want to open your own therapy clinic? I want you to think about your passion, think inwards, and I want you to think about how economics can push your passion forward. Thank you very much. This is Hassan Mahdi for TEDxNibras.